So today we're going to talk about the Sumo Deadlift and the setup. So I know a lot of you guys have been wanting to have the tutorial really badly, so here it is. So okay, first of all, I have my shoes on, my flat shoes on. Okay, so there are three things that you have to worry about when you're doing a Sumo Deadlift: the range of motion, okay, positioning of the body, and the tracking of the bar. So let's first start out with the stance. Okay, so I go fairly wide, so my shins are adjusted outside the standard rings here. However, beginners, you really want to start out close and then working your way out, because if you do this from the onset, you'll get injured or again, you'll experience difficulty. And most people aren't flexible enough to do this, so you really have to focus on stretching and mobility prior to doing a very wide stance sumo deadlift. Okay, so this is the first step we need to do to reduce your range of motion. So I have my feet up really wide. Okay, next let's talk about the positioning of the foot. You notice how my foot is at about a 45-degree angle. Okay, what this allows me to do is it allows me to for the bar to track very closely to my body. So let's say if you did this with your knees forward, it's going to put a lot of torque on your knee, and the bar is going to have a tendency to track further away from your body. And the goal is to keep the bar as close to your body as possible at all times. Okay, so keep the feet at 45 degrees. So it gives me easier time to push my knees out, and allows the bar to track closely to my body. Okay, next we want to talk about the positioning of the hands. To have the shortest range of motion, your arm has to be perpendicular to the bar here. So if I do a extreme example, for the longest range of motion, I would do probably conventional and do a snatch grip. But since I'm doing sumo and I want to reduce the range of motion to lift the most amount of weight as possible, I'm going to have my feet up very wide, and I'm going to have my hands perpendicular to the bar. So let me demonstrate. Okay, so I'm going to be pushing on my knees hard. Okay, so it's going to allow for the bar to track very closely to my body. Okay, then I'm going to keep the arms at a 90-degree angle to the bar. Okay, same with this hand. Okay, so I just did a rep. So let's talk about positioning of the hips. So some people like to have the hips out, fairly high, but I like to do fairly low because I have a longer torso, and the higher my hips start out, the more tendency my back starts to round. And sorry, to cover a point from before. People who would benefit from sumo deadlift are the people who have generally longer torsos and shorter arms. However, people with shorter torsos and longer arms can greatly benefit from doing sumo as well. Okay, so again, the two schools of thought for the sumo deadlift, as far as hip positioning goes, you can either start out low, or some people like to start out a little higher. And let's talk about the approach. So my grip isn't that great. So what I do is for the raw deadlift and geared, actually, I set my grip first. Okay, then I set my hips low while pushing my knees out. Okay, and you want to make sure that your shoulders are over the bar as well, to keep it in a straight path. Knees out. Efficient bar path. And again, the most important thing for sumo is, again, to reduce your range of motion, work on your torso positioning, and also how closely the bar tracks to your body. And a big mistake that people make while doing sumo is they'll start out with their hips really high, and or they're trying to jerk it like this. So sumo is a more deliberate type of deadlift. You have to take your time with it, and you have to have it controlled from the beginning. So it's definitely a lift that you don't want to rush. So let me demonstrate again. Okay, my feet are fairly wide. Okay, I'm gonna come down, grip it, knees out, keep my hips low. Okay, keep my hips low, knees out, shoulders over the bar, my chest out. Bam. Also, second approach for doing sumo, some people like to do this. So they like to set their stance, and they like to do a kind of rip and grip technique. So if you have really good grip, or if you prefer to do this method, people do it as well. So they're going to come down, okay, then they're going to grip the bar. A lot of times they don't even look at the bar. Okay, they're going to grip it. And be careful when you're dropping the bar, especially if you're really wide. You want to turn your toes inward as you're dropping it so you don't smash your toes. So I call that a toe swivel. But that's it, and if you guys have any additional questions, comment below. Thanks for watching.